USA plays Iran today. It is also National Cream Pie Day.
National Cream
I gotta
Lemon.
go get me a slice. Oh, lemon.
Hold on.
My bad. Lemon cream pie.
You were just saying National Cream Pie Day. It's National Lemon Cream Pie Day.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and we'll just let that one ride.
No, that's so great. That's gotta stay. That's so great. Welcome back. Another episode of ValuNation. Big shout out to Big Blue Nation on a huge victory last week.
Oh,
You started off like that. Anyways, moving on past that subject. Go Big Blue. Not even a fan, but just had to do it. Love seeing Ohio State lose.
Only because our boss is a Ohio State fan. Sucker.
Big shout out, but welcome back. Welcome back, ValuNation. Here at you again for some wonderful market news that we're going to talk about. You know, Chiefs victory Tuesday. What day is today? USA plays today.
USA plays Iran today. It is also National Cream Pie Day.
National Cream Lemon.
I gotta go get me a slice. Oh, lemon. My bad. Lemon cream pie.
You were just saying National Cream Pie Day. It's National Lemon Cream Pie Day.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and we'll just let that one ride.
No, that's so great. That's gotta stay. That's so great. My intro sucked, but that just saved it.
It saved it.
Oh my God, my intro sucked so bad. I know you don't pay attention to Chiefs news, but
I do. Mahomes just had his little baby boy.
Yeah, the prodigy's been born. It's like the scene from The Lion King right now, where everybody's holding the baby up on Pride Rock. He in 3, baby.
Pride Rock.
The third edition.
Did you see that super studded out? What's his middle name?
Bronze.
Yeah. They got him some diamond studded necklace that the kid's never gonna be able to wear. Probably till he's at least he's gonna be able to hold his head up.
It's the prodigy, man.
It's gonna take a minute.
It's the third edition, the third Patrick LeVon Mahomes.
Is it really?
Yeah, because he's a junior. His dad was senior, and his dad was a relief pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Right.
And then he went football, so we'll see where the young prodigy goes. But the reason I said the Chiefs news is, so Willie Gay is one of our starting linebackers, and he had a domestic dispute last year, and nothing ended up happening. He got in an argument with baby mama, or I don't think it was wife, but he got super mad and was getting mad and broke a vacuum cleaner. She called the cops, but
was it a gas powered vacuum cleaner?
Bring it in. Oh my God. Oh, that was nice, but so nothing, no files or anything as far as he didn't touch her. He took his anger out on the vacuum cleaner. He got a 4-game suspension for that.
What? For breaking a Hoover vacuum?
And the cops getting involved, domestic dispute stuff. But with everything that's going on with Deshaun Watson, he gets 11 games and he got 4.
There's honestly
there's no rhyme or reason in the
there
NFL.
Really isn't. If you look at it over the last couple of years, it's pretty bad. What's his name from Atlanta? The wide receiver got suspended for the season for gambling.
Yeah,
on his team.
Calvin Ridley. Yeah.
Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about gambling. We're not talking about the very questionable, ear muffet, Jordan. Questionable actions of Deshaun Watson and all his masseuses.
Yeah. We'll look at Pete Rose.
Oh yeah, he's a.
Speaking of gambling,
you could talk on whole segments on that, guys.
And then is that Mike's Hard Lemonade?
Actually no, and I don't know why I should be. It's actually why does it blur out?
Right. Copyright infringement.
Hey, you know what we got to do? We'll tag The Rock. Be like, hey, look at Zoa. I'm here for you.
Oh, is that one of his million brands he has? Yeah.
Dude, it's so good.
So we could bust into market news. What's today's mortgage rate? 7.5%.
Oh God. Do we? All right. Let me see.
What is today's mortgage rate? We should just bust in with what the 30-day fixed is every episode to start off.
It is. That sounds like a terrible idea. People are gonna cry over that. I'm kidding.
I never know how to look it up because I go to Bankrate, I go to other places, but they're all different. Every lender's a little different. So what is the actual? What do you use do you look it up? You actually?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Usually, let's see. Today's 30-year fix.
30-year fixed rate mortgage rate today. More like dun 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 dun.
Today's magic number is 6.81, dropping finally below 7%.
Yeah,
I love it. I mean, it's great, and it also really hurts the potential home buyers, obviously. But but why? Because the buying power. I mean, you made a good point. Like the um, is it a good time to buy? Sure, there's not a lot of competition. Not a lot of people are really wanting to take on that mortgage payment. That because it's more, right? It's a lot more. Um, those rates are so high that it decreased the buying power for a lot of people. Um,
yeah, because also I mean
that's
rates fluctuate based on your credit score as well, right? Like so that 6.8
yeah,
based on like
down payment, all those kinds of things
seven
come into play, right?
740 and over is where you're going to get that primo rate, and then there's another window below that the rate changes some points and so forth. So yeah, it does affect, but I mean in the grand scheme of things right now what it is, if you go out and look, homes aren't, just a year ago homes were going for 30,000 over list price, $40,000 over list price. So you were missing out on homes unless you had that much money in pocket to pay over appraisal, and which helped drive up the home values. Now things are kind of flattening out, and you're able to buy a home at list price and even get seller concessions where you can get closing costs paid for. Yes, you're paying more per month on your mortgage because your interest rate is 2 points higher than what it was, 2.5, 3 points higher than what it was. I guess in some cases 4. I mean, it was down in the twos.
Well, yeah, no, because they were down
two
below.
something.
Yeah, down in the twos.
Yeah, if you have the pristine credit score, you can get sub 3. But so yeah, it is a difference of a couple $100s a month. But would you rather pay $40,000 out of your pocket right now, the second you're buying the house, or save that 40 grand up front, an additional $200 a month on your mortgage payment, and then rates will eventually correct themselves a little bit. When they get back down to the 4s and the 5s, you refinance, and then it's done. You saved yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you got
$40,000.
yes, and if you got some cash, and you have the, you can support that higher payment, right? Because there was a great example that's out there right now, and they probably just use it for round numbers, but like a $400,000 house, right? 30-year fixed. What was it? What you could get it for 2 years ago versus today because of the rate, just rate alone, right?
Yeah.
All things equal, like down payment, PMI, everything like that. They were talking about it being $1,000 more today per month for a $400,000 house
Because of the interest rate.
because of the interest rate versus last, right? Man, an extra grand, that changes the game for a lot of people.
It does, but you could still go with, if we're basing on the same thing. So say that house was listed at 400,000. Right now, you could buy that house for 400,000, if not maybe slightly below, and get 5% help on your closing costs. So you could get maybe $1,250 to help you, $12,500.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of the first-time home buyer credits and a lot of those other things that can come into play, right? To help like lessen the blow. Man, that's
But then think though, a year ago, you're trying to buy that same $400,000 house when the market was insane and everybody was trying to buy. You may end up having to pay $440,000 for that $400,000 house, because you're going to have to pay $40,000 out of pocket over listing price, over appraised value to buy that house. So then how many months is it going to take? So that's 3.5 years or so of that extra 1,000 to equal the 40,000 you had to pay up front, boom, for that house in addition.
Well, I think we're going to find that there's going to be a lot of people in a real tricky situation, right? Because of the last couple of years and the way home values went. And who are they going to be pointing the finger at? I mean, like, obviously us and appraisers, because we were the ones that handed over the appraisals at the values. But to your point, there's a lot of those guys, a lot of those borrowers that came out of pocket, and even more. Like, one great example I have from last year was in, I think it was Marlton, New Jersey. And it was a very like average like home, not like a starter home, but I think it was like, I don't know, 2,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet. It wasn't anything really spectacular, but this family really, really wanted to be there, and they really wanted to be in this school district.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
A home speaks to you. You know, sometimes there's that feeling of when you walk into a home and it kind of speaks to you. And you have to
I mean, I think we've all had that experience once or twice, right? And whether you can really pull the trigger on it or not is a different story. But these people, they got the appraisal done. They came in like just over the list price, and then they got into the bidding war. And then these guys paid $150,000 cash over asking price.
Stop it.
The LO came back to me like a week later. He goes, "You're not going to believe this." He goes, "They got into a bidding war. And this guy pulled out $150K cash."
Stop it.
And I'm like, and then he wanted to come back. He's like, he's planning to come back and, maybe refi. I'm like, hey, we're going to end up in a whole world of problems.
Yeah.
You need to tell your borrower that he's A, insane, and B, he's going to need to sit on this for a minute and see what happens. Because even the appraiser, like we engaged the appraiser again, just saying, hey, hypothetically.
Yeah, appraiser doesn't want to touch that.
He's like,
see the
no,
purchase price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's no worldly way I could hit this appraised value. Period whatsoever.
Yeah,
and like, to be fair, that did happen a lot. Like, everybody was aware.
150K was the biggest number I saw in the last 2 years, right?
I think
you're right. Like, you're hitting it like 30, between 30 and 50. I think we saw a lot of.
It was common. Like that's something that used to be uncommon, but that became common in certain markets. Obviously, it's all based on percentages.
Yeah. And like around me, like the Northern Virginia market,
$400,000 to $500,000 houses, you wouldn't bat an eye seeing $40,000 listing. Now that game changes at $200,000 houses. Obviously, it's all relative to the starting point. Like Portland area, you were seeing stuff going crazy high.
Well, so yeah, there's some stats out there specifically about the West Coast, and the values and how they skyrocketed right over the last couple of years. Some major metro areas, whether it's Cali, the Northwest was another one. Utah was another one. And then obviously Texas, because there's always a surge in like Austin, for instance.
Yeah.
Those markets, there's like top 10 markets. They were all West Coast that increased the most year over year in like this median sales price. Upwards of like somewhere were like 15% higher than pre-COVID. It was insane. And now they're starting to, with the rates as they are and people not wanting to sell their homes, like we're starting to see the correction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we're getting at. Values are going to have to come back down and normalize, or the median sales price is going to normalize.
I think what our old normal of what we're used to is never going to come back. As far as home values,
I agree with you.
I feel like a lot of people, like if you've been in the housing game for a while or owned your house for 10 plus years, and like what you come to think your neighborhood is worth, and like the kind of range of homes in your neighborhood, that value that's stuck in your head from 5-10 years ago, I think is long gone. I don't think it ever goes down that far again.
Well, no, and there's a lot of emotion in it too when it's yours.
Yeah. Everybody always thinks their home is worth more than what it is. It's your home, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about. I just still can't get, for mine example, like say I live in nothing special, just a track home, and like in my mind, the values in this neighborhood, what they are compared to like what is still stuck in my brain for what I think these homes are worth. I still can't make sense of it. But I don't think it's ever going to drop back down to where my brain locks them in at.
So I'll give you an example. I pulled up some data.
Data time! We actually have. Is this our first facts? Like
fun facts by ValuNation.
Fun facts, ValuNation.
Hashtag. Okay, so March of 2020 to June of 2022. Take a wild guess as to how much the median home price increased.
Wow. So from the very beginning of COVID,
start of COVID to this summer.
Oh my gosh. Like a realistic guess or a for shock value guess? Realistic guess, I'd say like 18% or so.
18%?
Yeah.
That's pretty conservative, my friend. So
25%.
Okay. You're still short.
What?
Yeah. This is gonna blow your mind. All right, 47% increase. 47% across the country. Now that's median across the country, right? So we're talking like 280K up to like 413, 414, something like that.
200K up to 5. That's nuts.
So now,
oh no, 47%. No, yeah,
47,
right. Yeah.
So we're talking about the corrections, right? So looking at NBA stats from last month, from September to October, the end of October, and we're gonna have the new ones, I guess, for November, like later this week or next week. It's already dropped. The median's already dropped down to 379 across the country. Right. So we're starting at 413, and now we're down to 379.
Decent clip.
So yeah, so we're getting there. Like there's some of the chief economists, the guys that are way smarter than us. They were
just because they paid attention in econ class. Econ class was horrible.
This is like Mike Moore. He's just that econ guy.
Oh my gosh, he can go. He can go.
He could go for So like some of them are super crazy in their projections, talking about like maybe a 15 to 20% correction across the country. That's huge. Right?
It's a big correction, but it kind of goes back to my earlier point. We're never going to get back down to that baseline zero. I mean, if it went up 47, 48% and corrects 20%, I mean, it's still up 20+% from what it was. Like it's never the big market crash. I think we've said this multiple times on this show that the big market crash is never going to happen.
There's enough things in place to prevent that, right?
Hopefully that's been the plan. That's why we're here.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I mean, I would think that maybe a 5 to 10% correction is probably more realistic, personally. But
yeah,
again, these guys, they make way more money than us, or so you would think. I mean, they're out there spitting numbers, doing pie charts, pivot tables. You know how long it takes me to do a pivot table?
Really?
Like, I just don't use them that often.
Yeah. I've gotten more and more. I love Excel. Excel's amazing.
Oh.
Excel is amazing. I was an accounting major, so I had to get.
Oh, so you're part of the problem. Yeah.
I had to get very comfortable with Excel. Yeah. Fun fact.
Did what? Finish with accounting major? You finished as an accounting major?
Yeah, I'm a BSA.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went to school long enough to where I didn't even need the master's program to sit for the CPA if I wanted to. I had so many college credit hours. 6 years. Because I did 2 years community college, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Then went to UMKC to go get the let's go Kangaroos, baby. And kind of started as a business admin and took a couple of the basic level accounting classes, talked to a professor, kind of tried mentoring me, be like, hey, you seem to get this much more focused career than just business admin. And so then I switched over to that. And so then that was extremely difficult and probably one of the worst decisions I ever made in my life. It was so hard. Like my brain does not work. And I'm a numbers guy. Accounting is not numbers focused. Accounting is general principles and guidelines and like how you use those different ways. It's not like it's not numbers. I mean, yes, numbers are involved, but it's more rules, guidelines, how you apply this, where you can apply that. Like there's different ways to do it. It's just whichever one you choose, you have to be consistent with what method of accounting you're using. Like it was not for me. It did not work for my brain. It was a little more abstract than I thought it would be. I'm an engineer's brain. I should have followed in Dad's footsteps and gone engineering. But
what kind of engineer?
He was a civil engineer. He was on bulk material and handling. He did moving coal and coal-fired power plants. So,
oh wow,
he worked a lot internationally, obviously, because the U.S. hates coal. So, but he would design the system on getting the coal from, like, if it was from a barge or a ship, how to get it from the water to the power plant, or if it was coming out of like a mine, how to transport it from the mine to the power plant.
Oh, there you go.
No, he did some pretty cool stuff, man. He got to travel the world doing it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he did.
It's for coal. Spend a little bit of time in Mother Russia.
No, surprisingly. Like the ones that come to mind, like Indonesia, Philippines, Hong Kong, South Africa. Those were like the big jobs I remember. Because like some jobs you'd be gone for like 2.5 years.
The Philippines. Wait. Did you say 2.5 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you get to go visit?
Man, this is still a sore subject. So my father had sole custody of me and my sisters. We had visitation for the mom when I was like 8 or 9. So my sisters would have been like 11, 12. And he got offered a gig in Thailand. And it was going to be a minimum 6-month job, move there. And he had it all set up and he was going to take my sisters and I to Thailand, live there 6 months minimum, probably was going to end up being a year, go to international school. Like, you know how cool of an opportunity and like experience that would have been.
Oh yeah.
I was like in 6th grade, but it got shot down. I think my mom stepped in and like went lawyered up and was like, no. That would have been so freaking cool.
Come on, Mom.
I know, man. So no, I've never done really any international traveling. I'm boring, man. The most I've done is the British Virgin Islands. That's it for me.
I mean, but
I've gotten to use the passport once. British Virgin Islands.
They get those stamps, man.
I know. I haven't even gone to Mexico.
Yeah.
Like everybody's gone to Mexico.
Everybody's gone to Mexico. You got to go to the DR. DR. We did DR last year. Took our
Yeah,
daughter. It was fun.
I heard the DR is pretty fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, but
that's cool.
Can't really afford any of it right now. But you know what people can afford right now if they're taking advantage of the equity in their house is they can afford to do some home renovations to keep that house from climbing down just not quite as far as this percentage is dropping, right?
Let's talk about who decorated your tree, because that does not look like you. I don't think you did that.
Yeah, no. So
the ribbon?
Yeah, I did the ribbon. So Grace, my daughter, she does the ornaments. Like that's her job. And this is actually a new tree this year. I finally got a pre-lit tree. Oh my gosh, I finally got it.
Oh, you didn't cut it down.
Man, I'm sorry. But I've strung the lights every year for like the past 6 years. And like I was like, screw this, I'm getting a pre-lit. So yeah, I put the tree together, I did the ribbon, and then she comes after the ribbon's on and does the ornaments.
Look at you, the Martha Stewart touch. I'm impressed.
Yeah, see, you got the Patty Mahomes right here, man.
Yeah, is that the Chuck E. Cheese mouse next to it?
That is a terrible rendition of Casey Wolf, the Chiefs mascot. Yeah, this is
that's the Chuck E. Cheese mouse.
No, this is I think Grace made this actually. My daughter, I think, made it. It does kind of look like a Chuck E. Cheese guy. Yeah.
Okay, so Grace, if you're listening, because I know you are, because you love your dad. It's a great job.
Yeah, you did great. It was years ago. Great. She got braces today. Big day.
Ooh.
Yeah, Grace brace face.
Oh, don't do that to her. What kind of dad are you? Come on.
It's a mouthful. But yeah, she got her braces on this morning.
Let's see if can you see this?
I need to get some braces. Oh, no, that looks great. Now you did that yourself.
It's all blurry. Yeah, I'll text it to you. It's pretty fabulous. I'm not gonna lie. It's like a 9-footer.
Oh, nice.
Got in there with the saw, cut it down, let London cut it down.
Oh yeah. You go natural. I forgot about that.
All natural. Yep.
So
it's an experience.
So she got to cut it down. She got in there with the saw herself.
Yeah. The last couple of years. Yeah, it's been fun. We've been doing it since she was like she was 4. So, 6, 7 years. So it's a running tradition now.
I'd like to go natural. There's something to be said. The smell, it is cool. We used to when I was a kid. We always did natural. My dad always took us to get a tree. But I'd like to go 9-foot, but this stupid ceiling has a slant. Like this is the best spot in my little living room here for this tree. Like everywhere else would look stupid, and like the ceiling slants down the corner, and so like 7.5 foot's the limit. I can't go up 7.5. If I want to put a topper on there, I got a little angel up there.
Oh, you gotta have the topper.
Yeah, you got to. So
you should blow out that roof. Put a nice skylight in there.
Go Clark Griswold on him.
Go Clark Griswold with it.
Man, it's such a good movie.
He's my hero.
Have you seen the new Ryan Reynolds deal on Netflix?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
cool. Or on Apple or on Apple TV.
I think it's Apple Plus.
Good afternoon.
There's probably a hidden fee there too. Don't worry.
Good afternoon.
I'll get you.
That's my new greeting to people. It's good afternoon.
Just good afternoon.
Yeah, you'll have to watch it to realize. Wait, it's
I thought it didn't come out yet. Oh, it came out this week, didn't it?
Great. Yeah, Grace and I watched it last week, so it's out.
Oh, last week. Okay.
Yeah, it's a musical, which I did not see that coming.
Will Ferrell.
It's a musical. It's a musical with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, but yeah, I guess like they say that back in the day, like in the days of original Scrooge, good afternoon meant the equivalent to, F you. And so, so we're at the Chiefs game tailgating. This is great. My daughter, like, so Grace is like a goody two shoes. She is scared to cuss. She is scared to like say bad words. Like she just doesn't do it. Like which is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
She is like a super innocent kid. And so it's funny when like we're all getting together, like she comes to the Chiefs game with us, we're tailgating, like we're like, Grace, say it. And like you can see like every bone in her body, like it takes all the courage to spit it out. I was talking trash to her during our game of bags. We were playing bags, and like I kept talking trash, but she was playing like crap. And she just looks at me and goes, "Dad, good afternoon." It's like, oh my God, Grace. I can't believe you remember that. Awesome. It came out of nowhere. It was so good. It was classic.
But she said it with like such anger.
Oh yeah,
like,
she knew
exactly what she meant.
Oh yeah, no, she knew. She did not mean good afternoon. I'll tell you that.
Let's talk about some innocence. I took London to the night before Thanksgiving. We went to the Caps game, and they played Philly in DC. And it's like a thing that like me and her we're going to try and go to more games together, like trying to find something that me and her can relate to, like on the same level. Because in another couple of years, it's going to be her and my wife. They're going to be doing their thing, and I'm going to need one thing. I'll take the Caps. So she's in it, right? You want to talk about innocence? Sweet, like. We're sitting there. She's like, Dad, this is like our time, right? I'm like, yeah. Why? What's up? And she's like, well, it's okay if can I use the word damn? She's whispering in a crowd of 35,000 people. I'm like, yeah, I mean, while we're here, this will be the safe space. Sure, go ahead. Have at it. And she didn't abuse it. She waited the right time. And
Caps allow a goal. She lets out a little damn.
Yeah, she's like, damn. She said it under her breath still, right? And then Ovechkin put some guy into the boards, and the guy like fell limp. She goes, oh, damn.
Yes.
You see my 10-year-old get so like into it and use it completely correct the entire time. It was great. So she used like 5 or 10 times. And then I think it was out of her system. But meanwhile, like all the Philly fans that were sitting around us were yelling every possible obscenity because they ended up losing in OT. It was a cool game. I've never seen an overtime hockey game, but when you go like sudden death and play like 3-on-3.
Yeah, it's like 3-on-3 or 4-on-4, and then
it's 4-on-4 with the goalie, but yeah, and it's sudden death. You get 5 minutes,
and then if that doesn't happen, it goes to a.
It's like playing
Wayne Gretzky hockey. One of the greatest games ever.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Wayne Gretzky hockey on N64 was 3-on-3. That game is hands down one of the best video games ever. You could light people up on that game. Oh, it was so much fun.
And that's what they did. Like, it was super cool. They scored the game winner right in front of us. Awesome. Place went crazy. And, I mean, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So now she's like, Dad, can we get like season tickets or how does this work? I'm like, oh, God. I mean, you feel my pain. Like, you know how that, like, you guys won a Super Bowl recently, so your tickets are probably higher anyways.
Yeah, there was a premium the year after, but then like you always have to pay a premium when you first sign up. Like I only had one seat. Like when we won the Super Bowl, I just had a seat for myself, and so then
selfish
for 2 seasons. Well, I was seeing if I could afford it. Like,
oh yeah.
Honestly, like was just seeing how it worked and like my schedule and stuff, and so then. Kind of got a groove of it. I added the second seat. I had to pay a premium on that seat because it was, of course, after we won the dang Super Bowl. And so then the next year it drops down significantly into like the tier of the section you're in. And so it goes from there. I think how most organizations do it. So is that it, man? Are we done? We have anything else really to talk about today?
Oh man, I think that's it. We're getting the red light, the white flags being raised by Jordan. So
the director's giving us them.
He's getting it. You guys are going too long.
You guys suck.
Cut it down. Thank you everybody again for joining us on another fantastic episode of ValuNation. Make sure you go like, subscribe, click that little notification bell icon. you know when the new heat is being dropped on all of our social media outlets. We got Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Go find us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes,